Hello all, welcome back to the channel, me, myself, and I. If you're still not sure what that means, well think, me, myself, and I. At the end of the day, me, myself, and I is all you have. Is all you are is all you're left with, rather. So hence the name, me, myself, and I. If you recognize your own God to be you, I am God, there is no other God before me, that is I, then sign. Subscribe, join the club, welcome. Not some invisible being in the sky. What's that gonna do? That's not gonna help you or me. But I'm gonna help me and you're gonna help you. And together we're gonna help each other, right? So welcome to the club. Me, myself, and I. Today we'll be continuing Paradoxes of the Highest Science by Eliphas Levi. One of my favorite writers. He does a great job combining the philosophical and spiritual realms together with each other. Continuing, we'll be picking up on Paradox 3, which is love is the realization of the impossible. Love is the realization of the impossible. Food for thought. Okay, starting out, let's see. Love is the omnipotence of the ideal. By the ideal, the soul is exalted. It becomes greater than nature, more living than the world, loftier than science, more immortal than life. When Jesus Christ said, "Love God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself," this is the law and the prophets, he intended to signify love above everything, for God is infinite love. Further, love your neighbor as yourself. That is to say, love yourself and your neighbor. Did I not just say that 2 minutes ago? If I do for me and you do for you, then we're doing for each other. We're recognizing our own God. Us. I am. Boom. There you go. Manifested right afterward. Every video I do is like a direct manifestation of what we just talked about. Okay. So your neighbor is yourself. That is to say, love yourself in your neighbor. Does that make sense? Like love yourself in your neighbor. You see yourself in... Yeah, because they're all you. You are God. I am God. Therefore, I see myself in you and in others. Therefore, I help others because I want to help myself, right? Okay. Egoism, if properly ordered, commences with others. Go figure. To love is to live. To love is to know. To love is to be able. To love is to pray. To love is to be the man God. We literally just said that. Okay, this is weird. The woman dared to ruin herself in order to pluck divinity and offer it to man. And man, who had no thirst for divinity, for he had woman, the man took it as a simple thing to follow his companion to death. That's a reference right there. There commenced the incarnation of God. There commenced, like right there when they connected, the incarnation of God. Eve compelled God to make himself man, for she had become a mother. Death and hell had reared themselves, terrible with eternal menace, and one instant of love had vanquished them. Love is stronger than death, says the Song of Songs. It is more insurmountable than hell. Love is the eternal fire, and there is no deluge which can extinguish this. Give for a little love all that you have, all that you hope for, all you value, and all you are. Your blood, your heart, your life, and your soul, and you will have purchased it for nothing. Love is priceless, right? He who would save his soul from love shall lose his soul, and he who would lose his soul for love shall save it. Many sins shall be forgiven to the heart that has loved much. It is Jesus Christ himself who said it. And he had as a companion and friend the Magdalene, and he asked her for water to drink from the woman of Samaria, a sinner, and he pardoned the woman taken in adultery, and he said that the loose women would enter into heaven before Pharisees and doctors of the law, because the errors of love are more excusable than those of pride, because it is better even to love wrongly than to not love at all. In absolute morality, good is love, evil is hate. Love must be loved and only hate hated. One single word of hate, say the Gospels, deserves hell, and consequently one word of love merits heaven twice over, for love rewards even more liberally than hate punishes. But is not love itself its own reward? He who loves, has he not found the key of heaven? That is already. To Saint Teresa, the ideal of hell was the impossibility of loving, and this seemed to her so dreadful that she pitied Satan. The unhappy one, she used to say, he can no longer love. The woman pitied the demon. What a reform to Christianity, as he said. When the world shall have learnt to love, the world will be saved. The man who knows how to love attracts to himself all souls. To covet is not to love. To exact is not to love. To enslave is not to love. Jealousy is the egoism which assumes the mask of love. Excessive desire produces disgust. Exactingness merits denial. Tyranny excites rebellion in the strong and treachery in the weak. Jealousy is odious and ridiculous. To hate the heart that no longer loves us is it not to punish it for having loved us? That is, at some point or another. Jealous fury is furious ingratitude. But there is a sublime jealousy, which is but the zeal of love, and which for the honor of love itself desires the honor of the beloved. For the beloved is ever the supreme ideal of the soul. It is the mirage of the absolute. I guess that jealous desire to pursue for the highest of highs and the infinite realms of possibility, that is the ideal of soul, and that arouses jealousy within us because we have to have it now. We want to see it what it is now, not like in the future. Likings and passing fancies are not love. True love is the apprehension of God in man. It is the essence of religion, of honor, of friendship, and of marriage. Not only is love immortal, but it is love which makes the soul immortal. It ages not, neither does it change. Hearts may turn away from it as the earth turns away from the sun when she would sleep, and it is then that the coldness of night seems to fall upon the soul. In the physical plane, love is the principle of life. In the spiritual or metaphysical plane, it is the principle of immortality. Reascending to the origin of all things and diffusing itself thence over all beings, it is called piety, charity, and goodness. When it compels respect for duty, it is called honor. It is the mainspring of human individuality. Manifestly, it is immortal, for it yields nothing to death. It braves him, despises him, and often makes of him a blessing and a glory. What is a martyr but a witness who affirms the life eternal despite tortures and death? Love affirms itself absolutely. Where love is, there fear is not. It imposes its own conditions on life and cannot be conditioned by her. Love must be free in man. In nature, it is the child of destiny. Like the magnet, it has two forces. It attracts and repels. It creates and it destroys. It is the brother of death, but it is the elder brother. It is the God of whom death is the priest, the God who brightens death with his beauty, while death glorifies him by eternal sacrifices. It has a shadow that men call hate, and this shadow is needed to show forth its splendor. Oh, I get it. The shadow is needed to show forth how great love really is. Beauty is its smile, happiness its joy, deformity its sorrow, and pain its proof. War is its fierce fever, the passions its diseases, wisdom, its triumph and repose. Hold on, let me do that one. War is its fierce fever, the passions its diseases, wisdom. The passions its diseases, wisdom. Okay, its triumph and repose. It is blind, but it carries a torch. It is Lucifer, angel and demon. It is damnation and salvation. It is Eros equilibrized by Anteros. It is Saint Michael standing on Satan as a pedestal. The grand arcanum of magic is the mystery of love. Love causes angels to die and immortalizes demons. It changes into women the sylphs, undines and gnomes, and draws the elementaries down to earth. Love has promised Pandora to Prometheus. It is for Pandora that the heart of Prometheus ceaselessly regrows beneath the vulture's talons, and for Prometheus that Pandora still guards hope. Heaven is a song of love fulfilled. Hell, a roar of love deceived, but, as had said a great poet, the shadows of hell are visible darknesses, since there is always some light in the night. If hell had not a valid cause of existence in love, it would be the crime of God. Hell is the laboratory of redemption, and it is eternal, so that the work of reparation may be eternal, for God has always been and always will be what he is. Eternal suffering is the cry of the eternal bringing forth. At the foot of the Savior's cross, in evangelical representations, appear two women. One stands erect and veiled, motionless and pale as a statue in the majesty of her grief. This, the virgin without stain, the mother who conceived without sin. The other, prostrate and wailing, her hair and garments in wild disorder, her eyes red with weeping, her bosom heaving with sobs. This is the sinner, Mary Magdalene, reprobated by the world, blessing by him who dies. On either side of Christ, two men writhe in agony, two malefactors, the one repentant, the other hardened. To the one Jesus said, I pardon thee, but to the other he did not say, I condemn thee, but he suffered in silence with him and for him. Irrevocable damnation is the eternal reprobation of hate, the irremediable suffering of the being who will never love. Involuntary love is not a sentiment peculiarly human, it is the universal instinct of all nature. The animal makes no choice of allurements. Man alone holds in his hand this golden apple destined by heaven for the most beautiful. Would he be wise, he will choose Minerva. Would he have power, Juno will be his choice. But if the gratification of the senses suffice him, it will be to Venus that he will offer the apple. This did the poltroon Paris. Agamemnon would have chosen Juno and was assassinated by Clytemnestra. Ulysses admired only Minerva, so he had Penelope as spouse. So triumphed he over the Sirens, over Calypso and Circe, escaped from Polyphus and Neptune, trampled beneath his feet his enemies and rivals, and thus reconquered his nuptial couch and his throne. Nuptial, I guess. The poems of Homer are divine teachings whose characters are types. Agamemnon and the two Ajaxes are the triple pride of power, of valor, and of rebellion. Achilles is wrath, Paris is pleasure, Nestor is the experience that speaks, Ulysses is the intelligence that acts. His labors are the trials of the initiation corresponding with those of Hercules, but Hercules succumbed to a fatal love and died the victim of Deianira. Ulysses enjoys possession of Calypso and Circe without allowing them to possess him. He loves what he ought and what he wills to love. His country is his spouse, and the single-hearted love bears him victorious through all. Love is the greatest power of man, when it is not the most unworthy weakness, that is. He is weak if an egotist. He is strong if he is self-devoted. Hercules buys at the feet of Omphale the voluptuous joys of which he is the slave. With his eyes, his honor, and his liberty, Samson pays for the treacherous kisses of Delilah. Orpheus must not glance at Eurydice if he would tear her from the grasp of hell. Conquered by the thirst for that beauty which he yearns to look upon once more, he turns and all is over. Never will be look on her again. It is that the true love binds himself not to the beauty which passes away. Beauty for him is eternal, and can escape him never, since he is strong enough to create her. The sage loves not a woman because she is beautiful. He holds her beautiful because he loves her, and because he has good reason to love her. Animal love is of evil omen. Human love is of a providence. Ulysses, in the arms of Calypso, don't get that wrong, animal love. He means animal like fleshly love is an evil omen, but human love is a providence, like actual true love is true beauty. Ulysses, in the arms of Calypso and Circe, was not unfaithful to Penelope, because his only thought was how to escape from them to rejoin his wife. He sinned only against the delicacies of love, and he will be punished for it by the son of Circe. The grain of illegitimate children is the seed of parricides. When there is not the faith, or at least illusion and desire of eternity, sexual love is a gluttoning of animality. Yep, there it is. Or a fantasy of debauch. Lechery is a desecration of love that nature punishes and wounded love avenges. Sooner or later, Don Juan must meet the terrible statue of the commander. But can we always preserve ourselves from this ill-omened love? Can we irrevocably devote the heart to love, the free and the illegitimate, or the legitimate, We can by knowledge and by will. When we know what we ought to will, then we love what we ought to love. That means with proper training, discipline, education, knowledge. Then you know what you really ought to will, how you really are to implement that logos and that word power. Not a simple child or a barbarian or whatever. He wouldn't know what to will. He would just go lose it all, the flesh desires, base desires, what have you. But you know what I got out of this the most? Love, what Saint Teresa said, the devil needs love too. Until you can learn how to love the devil, then you can't align yourself. You can't find your true God self. You have to love the devil and hate God in order to even discover your own divine self. That is you. I am God. I am the way. I am one. I loved the devil and I hated God. And together I joined the two and I became God. Therefore, it's all me. It's all me, myself, and I. So y'all have a great day and be good.